Okay, so let me just clear this. Okay, so as we were discussing, so we will talk about is the key features. Okay, and what is the key features we will be discussing? We will be discussing about the farmers, produce, trade and commerce, that is ordinance 2020. So first is the trade of farmers produce. So as I told you that the farmers can trade interstate or intrastate and interstate trade of farmers produce outside the physical premises of the market yards, which are run by the market committees formed under the state APMC acts and other markets under the state APMC acts. Okay. So second is they can also are allowed to do electronic trading. Okay, so the ordinance permits the electronic trading of scheduled farmers produce, in the specified trade area. Okay, so that means they can especially the companies who have partnership firms and all under the income tax act, they can definitely do the electronic trading. And a farmer producer organization or agricultural cooperative society can also do electronic trading. The third advantage is market fee. So there is no market fee and that is completely abolished. So the ordinance prohibits state governments from levying any market fee or levy on market traders, and in electronic trading also you do not need to pay any targets. Okay, now this was the first feature of the first ordinance bill. Let's talk about the second one. So I'll just rub this. Yes. So the second one was the farmers empowerment. So this will be coming in your exams very much. And protection agreement on price assurance and farm services ordinance 2020. So here under this there is a farming agreement. So farmers can, the ordinance provides for a farming agreement between a farmer and a buyer prior to the production of any farm produce. Now the minimum period of an agreement will be one crop season. So remember this, and or one production cycle of livestock, and the maximum period is 5 years unless the production cycle is more than 5 years. The second is the farmers can decide on pricing also. So pricing of farming produce. So the price of farming produce should be mentioned in the agreement. For prices, subjected to variation, a guarantee price for the produce and a clear reference for any additional amount above the guarantee price must be specified in the agreement. And further, the process of price determination must be mentioned in the agreement. The third one which I am speaking and I am talking about is dispute settlement, and I had already told you there is a board. So a farming agreement must be provided for a conciliation board as well as a conciliation process for settlement of disputes. So the board should have a fair and balanced representation of parties to the agreement. So at first, all the disputes must be referred to the board of resolution, and then if the board remains unresolved by the board, then after 30 days, parties may approach to the subdivisional magistrate for resolution. So parties will have a right to appeal an appellate, an appellate authority presided by the collector, or the additional collector can take, in charge against the decisions of the magistrate. So both the magistrate and the appellate authority will be required to dispose a dispute within 30 days. So the problem has to be solved within 30 days. It's a fast track. Okay, from the receipt of the application. Suppose if I have a dispute, I have put a receipt, within 30 days my problem has to be resolved. And the magistrate or the appellate authority may impose certain penalties. I repeat, there will be certain penalties on the party who is there in the agreement. Okay, however no action can be taken against the agricultural land of farmer for recovery any due. So if anything happens, the farmer will there will not be any action taken against the land of the farmer. So this is a very important thing. Let's come to the third or the last ordinance bill. Yes, so this one is the third one. So I am very impressed with this farm bill. Let's see what is your opinion, because as I told you, the protest is going on because of some traders associations, especially the ones who are dominant, and the big farmers are actually dominating the scenario. So the small farmers and the marginal farmers are pretty happy with this bill. So the essential commodities amendment. Anyways, you cannot do anything about this bill because this bill has already been passed in the parliament. So the first good advantage of this is regulation of food items. So if you know, the Essential Commodities Act, which started in 1955, empowers the central government to designate certain commodities such as food items, then fertilizers and petroleum products. They are called as essential commodities. Okay, now the central government may regulate or prohibit the production, supply, distribution, trade and commerce of such essential commodities. Okay, so the ordinance provides that the central government must regulate the supply of certain food items, which are cereals, we had already discussed, pulses, potatoes, onions, edible oil seeds and oils, under the extraordinary circumstances. Now what are these extraordinary circumstances? These can include war, famine, drought, extraordinary price rise, natural calamity, which is very very dangerous, or something, a very grief situation during the COVID situation. So these are extraordinary circumstances. Let's talk about the second one, that is the stock limit. So the ordinance requires that there is an imposition of any stock limit on agriculture must be based on, so it is based on, must be based on price rise. Okay, so a stock limit may be imposed only if there is 100% increase in retail price, okay, of horticulture produce. So this is a very important point. And 50% in retail price of non-perishable agricultural food items. So this increase will be calculated over the price prevailing immediately preceding the 12 months, okay, or the average retail price of the last 5 years, whichever is lower. So again I say the increase will be calculated over the price prevailing immediately preceding 12 months or the average retail price of the last 5 years, whichever is lower. Okay, so the basic issue is that there is an availability of buyers for farmers produce, and there is a great infrastructure. Okay, and that is why, if you see, most of the states have objected for this. Then there is Gramin agricultural markets are there. Okay, so now it has become more transparent. Okay, so these are the greatest advantages of this farm bill. Okay, So we have come to the end of the chapter, and now I will talk about is the questions.